My family is pressuring me to give my 23F sister my 28F wedding venue because she needs it more and is pregnant. Reupload plus updates. Part 1. My fiancé and I have been together for 8 years and engaged for 3. I was doing my PhD program and was juggling planning the wedding. My fiancé took much of that work, but it was perfect because our dream venue was booked until after my graduation. So, what we did was book our dream venue 3 years in advance. It is really a beautiful venue. The only slot we got was in September of this year. My sister got engaged to her fiancé a few months ago. They were planning on having a spring wedding next year. They had no venue lined up, but had a few vendors lined up as well as a set date. Yesterday, our parents invited us and our SOS to a family barbecue, where my sister announced to our extended family that she was expecting. Everyone was so happy for her and my BIL, who is a great guy. My nan asked my sister if the wedding was still on the set date or if they were going to wait because of the baby. She said no, saying that she hoped to move it to September. NBD, we don't have many out-of-town guests, so they could attend both weddings without problem. Nan was happy and asked her sister if she needed help planning such a short-notice wedding. My sister then turned around and said, "That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I was really hoping we could take your venue. I really cannot stress myself too much with planning a wedding while going to maternity classes. And I think it is so beautiful. It would really mean a lot to me." It went silent, but everyone was looking at me, expecting me to say, "Yes, of course, everything for my little sister." My BIL looked very uncomfortable, and I told her that they had talked about this and that it was not okay to put me on the spot. But my sister just said, "Don't be like that. My sister wants to do what's best for me, so it's no big deal, right?" I just said, "Well, it kind of is. I don't know. I have my heart really set on the venue." Cue the crying. She stormed off. Nan told me that I was being selfish because she needed the venue more than I did. I tried to defend myself, and my mother said, "You waited 3 years. Would it have killed you to wait a few more months? When has your sister ever asked you for something?" A few comments later, my fiancé got really mad and we left. My sister called me crying and said that it was unfair that I always get what I want and that I could have done this one thing for her. Dad said it is just a venue, and what matters is the person you are marrying. He is a kinda, right? But we have been planning for so long. My fiancé is furious with my family and doesn't even want my sister to come. Now my family is threatening not to come because I am being selfish, and my sister needs it more than me because having a baby is too stressful. Part 2. My BIL called me and apologized for the inconvenience. He told me he had discussed it with my sister, and she had told him she would not ask. He is properly mad at her now and warned me that my sister is blaming me for potentially ruining her marriage. My father has sent me about 5 texts along the lines of, I hope you are happy your sister hasn't stopped crying since yesterday," and so on and so on. My fiancé and I have decided to boot my sister from the bridal party and replace her with my aunt, who is the only family member who took my side. We have not decided whether or not we will invite my family as a whole. Furthermore, my mom took it upon herself to tell on us. She called my fiancé's parents and told them that it would be best if my sister got it because she is pregnant and preeclampsia runs in the family. Whatever that means, my future father-in-law told them to fuck off and basically ripped my mom a new one for expecting something so ridiculous and saying that they were going to lose me if they kept playing favorites. So my mom is now crying too and saying that my father-in-law isn't a star. This is just getting so pathetic. It seems straight out of a bad soap opera. My in-laws are driving to us currently with some supper and wine and basically told me to not worry and that no matter what happens, they will be my safety net. I cried out of happiness. Part 3, so it hasn't been that long. But this post blew the hell up. I was expecting only a few answers, but the support was overwhelming. What boggled my mind is that this story flooded the mainstream media. But let's get to the story. So since this went viral, a lot has happened. My sister saw this story while browsing her Reddit account. She lost her mind. She accused me of painting her like a loony and misinterpreting facts. Info. My sister got wind of the situation due to various media outlets and went on Reddit. She said that I was being unfair, that she is family, and that she asked it nicely because she loves me. She also underlines the fact that the opinion of internet strangers doesn't count because family is more important, and I should focus on making my family happy. The only text I sent back was this: I am sorry that you perceived it that way. I did not, in any matter, distort what happened. As you might notice, I didn't describe your tone or exaggerate anything. Perhaps you have that night differently in your mind than I do, but I digress. I am sick and tired of bending to your will. My whole life, I have been your servant and your doormat. Remember all the birthdays I had to share with you because you would throw a tantrum because you didn't get presents? Or when you cried so that I would fill out job applications for you. But the thing that has hurt me most till now is when you ruined my graduation. I am done. I admit that I also spoiled you, but I will not do so any longer. If you want to marry so badly before your baby is born, then you could look at Hotel X, which offers last-minute weddings. I have spent too much time planning MY wedding to gift it to you. And if you want to ruin our relationship over this, then go ahead. I will sleep soundly and safe knowing that it wasn't my fault. She only sent me a wow. You must love me so very much. And blocked me. She unblocked me this morning to send me this wedding planner. Hello, dear. I got the message from your mother and will proceed with the rebooking of the venue on the spot. However, this will have extra costs as we have to change the names on the contract. Please come by my office tomorrow so we can sign the new contract. Sister, that's great. I'll be there at 9. My parents haven't actually written me since the thing with my father-in-law. My older brother, yes, I have an older brother, but he lives in another city and wasn't at the barbecue. That's why I didn't mention him. Plus, he initially could not come to the wedding because of work and changed his plans after hearing about all the story. He contacted me and wanted to know what happened because he got a weird story from Mom and Dad. Mom had told him that I had offered prior to the barbecue to give up the venue to my sister and that I humiliated her. I told him what really happened and he had no problem believing me. We talked a lot about our parents' behavior, and he confessed that his moving was partly due to our parents being, and I quote, sh*T heads to us. He told me that Mom had gotten wind of the post and was mad at me for betraying my family. I haven't written my parents what so many of you advised me to because I have to come to terms with the fact that they love my sister more than me, if they love me at all. The wedding we sat together and shared passwords with the majority of our vendors and also with the venue directly. We haven't talked to our planner yet, which is why the text from my sister worries me so much. Also, we canceled the catering that my parents paid for. So, in the short term, we won't be able to get full catering like we wanted to. But all our friends and my fiancé's family will help us prepare a buffet, and everyone is going to chip in. That will be our bachelor party. We will have to spend more on our food now that we canceled our bachelor parties, and we'll have a family and friends cooking session. Thank you again for helping me see how toxic my family is. I will try to sort it out. If they apologize from the bottom of their hearts, they will be allowed into my wedding, but if not, then, well, I still have my brother, who will be walking me down the aisle, and my aunt. Part 4 we called my planner, and she was actually really horrified. She told me she's had as much as talked to my mother since the day we went to book the venue. She assured me that even if they were to call and say that I wanted it, I had to be present to make any changes. So we informed everyone that will work for us on our wedding, and they offered to hire security for that day at a reduced price.